Charles, right. So on the 22nd and 23rd of July, the High Court in London heard a legal challenge brought by the Wikimedia Foundation against the categorization regulations of the Online Safety Act. Now, the Wikimedia Foundation says it shares the UK government's commitment to promoting online environments where everyone can safely participate, but they're complaining that the fact that they are likely to be made a so-called Category 1 organisation under the Act, and that would, quote, undermine the privacy and safety of Wikipedia's volunteer contributors, expose the encyclopedia to manipulation and vandalism, and divert essential resources from protecting people and improving Wikipedia. For example, they say the foundation would be required to verify the identity of many Wikipedia contributors, undermining the privacy that is central to keeping Wikipedia volunteers safe, in addition to being able to being exceptionally burdensome. This requirement, which requires just one of several Category 1 demands, would expose contributors to data breaches, stalking, lawsuits, or even imprisonment by authoritarian regimes. So, in other words, they're not happy that the age verification requirements would expose the identity of Philip Cross, perhaps. And I want to be clear here. As much as I believe that Wikipedia is completely compromised and is as far from objective as it can get, they are correct to raise these concerns. And I would very much like to know the identity of Philip Cross as much as anyone else who's been on the receiving end of his propaganda, but they were absolutely correct to take this to court. So I'm certain that everyone, or sorry, I'll rephrase that. I'm certain that very few will be surprised that on Monday this week, the High Court dismissed the Wikimedia Foundation's court case, but not without caveats, because according to the statement from the Wikimedia Foundation, the judge recognized the significant value of Wikipedia as its safety for users, as well as the damages that wrongly assigned Online Safety Act categorizations and duties would have on the human rights of Wikipedia's volunteer contributors, they say. The court stressed, they say, that it does not give Ofcom and the Secretary of State a green light to implement a regime that would significantly impede Wikipedia's operations. And they said that they could face legal repercussions if they fail to protect Wikipedia and the rights of its users. In order to achieve that outcome, the judge suggested that Ofcom may need to find a particularly flexible interpretation of the rules in question, or that the rules themselves may need amendment in Parliament. Now, we should note that the first categorization decisions from Ofcom are expected later in the summer, so this is not a done deal yet, and perhaps this court case will still have an effect on that decision. But of course, the justification for all this is keeping children safe. This is a lie which gov.uk repeats for everything that it's doing. And my question then is, why are they talking about this approach when the bigger risk to children is adults accessing sites aimed at children and those adults posing as children themselves? Just to reinforce this, the National Crime Agency estimates that there are between 550,000 and 850,000 people in the UK who pose a sexual risk to children as of 2024. And so I want to then highlight the US-based National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, because they have recently published their latest cyber tip line report covering up to 2024. And they noted that last year they received 546,000 reports from tech firms of adults across the world soliciting children. That's a 192% increase from 2023. And I think that's probably more to do with the fact that these are being reported much more often, more than anything else. And it's probably the tip of the iceberg. Now, around 9,600 of these reports came from the UK in the first 6 months of 2024, with Snapchat reporting far more concerning material to this organization than the other platforms. This is, as I say, the tip of an iceberg, since this is only covering incidents that are reported and not incidences that have gone past being unreported. And yet Ofcom apparently doesn't see this as an urgent priority. And in a statement to me from Ofcom, their media team explained that, quotes, the use of age assurance should also make it harder for adults to pose as children, given age checks must be highly effective at determining whether a user is an adult or a child. That's disingenuous. Because later on in the same statement, they go on to say our approach to highly effective age assurance is that services should treat users as a child and apply the default protections unless they've gone through an age check and been determined to be over 18. And I mean, I shouldn't be the only one that sees disparity here. All of Ofcom's rhetoric on this, including at the recent Age Assurance Live event, which they ran, is about verifying that people are over 18, not under. And they claim, so they're suggesting that in doing that, they can protect children that are under 18. It doesn't work that way because mostly platforms are checking for being over 18. They're not checking people that are supposedly under 18, and they're not asking people on child-oriented websites. They're not asking children to verify their age, that they are under 18. That's not part of the current program. So anyway, they claim to have anti-grooming measures in place. But as the NCMEC report demonstrated, if those measures exist at all, they're highly ineffective. But don't worry, Ofcom is, quotes, currently consulting on further strengthening these anti-grooming measures by proposing that platforms should use robust age checks to underpin measures they take to protect children from grooming, end quote. So I'm just going to say it again. The Online Safety Act, the entire regime, needs to be repealed. And Ofcom needs to be disbanded. And we're glad to see that the petition is now up to 518,656 as of 10 o'clock this morning. It's slowing down, but we need to keep the momentum up in this. The whole issue needs to go back to square one. A new conversation needs to happen, Charles, around this whole censorship industrial complex which has been built. And then just to end this segment, speaking of digital ID, because that's basically what we've been speaking about, Companies House, which hasn't given a damn about the accuracy of their database records in the last 180 years, has suddenly decided to demand ID verification for all company directors. And Charles, my question is, why now?
Quite. Yeah. Well, I mean, the question that can be applied to absolutely all these things that are demanding similar. It's absolutely nothing to do with the requirement for company directors, that's for sure. But no, I think, very good point there. And specifically with regard to the, all the organisations that are affected by the Online Safety Act and Wikipedia in particular, NIMOLA comes to mind. And there's just this absolute failure for people to recognise that it does actually present a threat to everybody, regardless of your position on the spectrum, let's say. Now, something we'll talk about in extra, I'm sure.